Hello, this is my software drives hardware project slash presentation. The first package or software that I'm going to be talking about is Elder Scrolls 4 Oblivion, which is a pretty old video game. The OS or operating system it requires is Windows XP or higher, and for the RAM, it needs at least 512 system of RAM. As for the chip, you need a 2 GHz Intel Pentium 4 or equivalent processor. For the video, a 128 MB Direct3D compatible video card and DirectX 9.0 compatible driver will be necessary. DirectX specifications would be DirectX 9.0C, which is included in the previously mentioned package. For audio, DirectX 8.1 compatible sound card would be sufficient. The drive type would have to be an 8X DVD-ROM drive, and the hard drive you need at least 4.6 gigabytes free hard disk space, and I want this product now. The next software is another game, ironically from the same studio, called Fallout 3. XP or Vista would be the bare minimum for this game to run. 1 GB system RAM for XP and 2 GB system RAM for Vista would also be needed. 2.4 GHz Intel Pentium 4 or equivalent processor, and of course anything higher, would suffice for you to run Fallout 3. DirectX 9.0C compliant video card with 256 megabytes of RAM, which is NVIDIA 6800 or better, or ATI X850 or better. And you would need around 5.6 gigabytes to install this, and I also want this now. The next product isn't a game, it's rather a dictating program. Dragon Home allows you to speak your commands to the computer for the computer to operate. The minimum CPU is a 1 GHz Intel Pentium or equivalent AMD processor, or 1.66 GHz of Intel Atom processor. The processor cache would, at the minimum, needs to be 512 kilobytes. The free hard disk space you would need would have to be 2.5 gigabytes normally, and 2.8 gigabytes for a localized non-English version. The supported operating systems include Microsoft Windows 7, 32-bit and 64-bit, Microsoft Windows Vista Service Pack 1 and Service Pack 2, 32-bit and 64-bit, Microsoft Windows XP Service Pack 2 and 3, 32-bit only, and Windows Server 2003 and 2008, Service Pack 1, 2, and R2, 32-bit and 64-bit. The minimum RAM for XP and Vista is 1 gigabyte, but it's 2 gigabytes for 7 and Windows servers 2003 or 2008. The recommended specs for Elder Scrolls Oblivion, which is basically the cushion, would have to be XP or 7, not Vista because it's a faulty OS. 3 GHz Intel Pentium 4 or equivalent processor or higher would be highly recommended. 2 gigabytes of system RAM or more is a must if you want to run this game at high graphics. And ATI X800 series and NVIDIA GeForce 6800 series or higher would be enough for the video cards. Recommended specs for Fallout 3 would again need to be Windows XP or 7 and pretty much any gigahertz Intel Core 2 Duo processor or higher. 2 gigabyte system RAM or higher would also be well off for the game, and DirectX 9.0 compliant video card with 512 RAM instead of 256, which is the bare minimum listed back in slide 3. The recommended specs for Dragon Home would be Windows 7 and 1.8 GHz Intel dual core or equivalent AMD processor, and of course anything higher. 2 megabytes of processor cache or more, and around 4 gigabytes of hard drive space, as well as 5 gigabytes of RAM. And the computer that consists of all these cushion specs is the Dell Inspiron 15R. The laptop is extremely customizable, and all options are compatible with Elder Scrolls Oblivion, Fallout 3, and Dragon Home. Sample specs may include Windows 7 Home, 2nd generation Intel Core i5 with 2430M processor with 2.40 GHz and with Turbo Boost 2.0 up to 3.00 GHz. A genuine Windows 7 Home Premium would also work at 64-bit English. 640 gigabytes of hard drive space is in this laptop, and 15.6 high definition 720p LED display with True Life is available for the gamer's delight. And 6 gigabyte DDR SD RAM is enough to handle all 3 programs in the computer.